Welcome back to Alternative Reality Gaming. I'm your host Lenny, and if you're lucky, one of my furry co-hosts will join us today. Your stream will begin shortly. Enjoy. Alright, welcome back. I am playing Out of Ore, digging a mine shaft. Base of the game is just to build a factory, dig as much as you want, and use the materials to keep expanding your factory and buying more equipment. I mean, after a while, the money part of it kind of, I think, becomes pointless. But as of right now, this is my factory here. So I just keep dumping it in the hoppers down there under the red grates. And then it feeds it all the way up and dumps it into this hopper, which feeds it through the tumblers and all that junk for separating gold and diamonds and all that stuff. The last episode, I had actually emptied all this stuff and made sure all my uh, ore smelters were doing what they're supposed to be doing. I was gonna say most of it should be down here because we're dealing with rock, and the rock gets sent down to these two when it's done. Holy shit! What the hell is a tailing? Left over after the process of separating the ore from gravel. Is it garbage? Is it useful in any way, shape, or form? Because if it's not useful, then I should put a sell point under this so that it just instantly sells it. And then I don't have to worry about doing it myself here. So let's see what it sells for at least. Yeah, not much. So it's probably not useful. It's basically like dirt. It's just the leftover. Um, because concrete to make, or cement, I should say, not concrete, but concrete was over at these devices. I think it was the sifter thingies down here, these water board things. Yeah, cement takes just gravel. So where the hell do you get gravel from? Because I'm not digging gravel. Alright, what the frick. So it looks like I got more learning to do still. Not exactly sure what to do to make gravel. I was looking to see if there's any other kind of smelter thingies. A water refinery, water into clean water, a wash plant. Maybe these fancier smelters can do it. Because I already have a frother, which I'm not. I thought that this froth floater, I thought that had to do with the gravel stuff, but oh, so I'm gonna need one of these guys for making the steel. The fuck is a bloom roller? Rolled metals into blooms. So you can process things further and make more money. Alright. Asphalt plant. Does that mean I can make roads? Like what the heck? Making bars, beams. I do not see anything though for making cement. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look that up and we'll figure out. Oh, cement mixer. It's not a machine. So, I do remember seeing that somewhere. It just looks like one of those little manual crank cement mixer things. Um, don't remember exactly where to find it though. Is it still in factory? I, is it, just type in concrete mixer and it comes up. So, I should probably get one of these placed, or at least one. I don't know how many I'll end up needing, but put this down here probably. Concrete mixer. So then that makes all the blocks. What do you put into it to make? Because like I haven't found gravel in the wild. Or am I supposed to make the gravel out of the rock? Why do I have a feeling that's probably the process, is make the gravel from the rock. 'Cause that's the one thing I'm not seeing is where to get the gravel and stuff from. Oh, okay. So I have blasted rock. Um, oops. So that's actually what I'm digging in down there right now is all blasted rock. And then it goes through the coal sorter. Oop, overshot that one. And then we got the trommel for diamonds and junk. And then this should be all the rock crushers and the cone crusher, which I thought made gravel, but then I never end up with any gravel down here. I end up with, oh, and I sold it all, but it was that weird trillel or some shit. It was like some dusty stuff, I think, that was left over. But I do still gotta keep digging at this blasted rock and get more going. And I'm stuck down here. I have some regular rock that I gotta blow still, but I wanted to get as much of it exposed before I actually blow it apart as I can. Oh, overshot that. So I was a little let down that the GPS device that you can buy and equip to your bucket that tells you like what position your bucket's in. Um, it doesn't. It just kind of like a reference point. I thought it would actually like stop it at that on like you set it and it just automatically restricts you, but so the monitors is actually old TVs that I had laying around. Um, I didn't know if I was gonna like it, so I didn't want to spend money on it at all. So it's actually just a bunch of old 55-inch TVs, or 50-inch TVs, I think, that I had laying around, and it actually works really well. Um, but there's just a lot of games that don't work well with it. Like right now, I'm only using like the equivalent to two of the screens because it actually doesn't have triple support and it like stretches the screens funny. And then plus all the information that you need ends up like almost behind me. So yeah, there's a lot of situations where the triples are kind of funky. um, Yeah, it's just a reference. You end up having to stare at the silly gauge thing instead of your bucket. But maybe they'll change that and make it better. I mean, I know I was playing an older version of the game, um, and back when it was still the weird balls of dirt and not so much like the water flowing. Um, so I mean, they've made drastic changes to this game that have just improved it. I mean, hell, the first time I played it, I actually didn't like it. And then now that they've changed all the dirt mechanics and stuff, I can't stop playing. Did you get the actual farm stick, or are you using just any old joysticks like I did? Like this is the Airbus one, but it gets the job done. Did not think that through. My screen was kind of covering. 1600. Nice. I don't know. Playing with this stuff is like messing around when you were a little kid in the sandbox and they had that weird little digging crane thing that you always felt like you could dig yourself out of the ground with it, but I don't think it was really physically possible. But you always sure as hell tried, and that's what this feels like. Oh, that's not bad. Hell, that's less. Shit. That's less than what this Airbus setup cost new. I mean, I didn't pay that for it, but the joystick and the throttle quadrant is supposed to be, I think it's like 180. I got it used, so I didn't pay that much, but still 150 bucks for dual sticks with just like a quality response and stuff is not bad at all. All right. So you do run it. Okay. I know the one guy I was watching said he had like 40 years of experience and he loves this game. And just the extravagant mines that the guy builds is just insane. I wish I could drive equipment like this, but all the bouncing around and stuff would not go over well. Yeah, I could just imagine trying to play this game on a mouse and keyboard. What was the game I was trying to play on a mouse and keyboard that was silly? It wasn't Farm Sim, but it was another one like Farm Sim where I just found myself constantly tracking with the mouse and it was just pissing me off and never quite I got the motions down to the way I wanted and yeah, you're right. Once you know what it should feel like, there's no way in hell you're gonna let a mouse and keyboard do the job. Like I have driven equipment, like a small excavator, like a small Kubota. My brother owns a sewer and septic company, so we use that for installing septics and stuff. Um, so I've driven that around a little bit, nothing extensive. Used it to smash a shed and dig a small hole, nothing crazy, but I did get a little bit of practice. Gotta go get fuel. And I don't think it's gonna make it to the fuel tank. I have not actually used the excavators at all. After using the excavators with Terrafarm from the mod for FarmSim 25, it was so horrible in that game that I didn't even chance it in this one. I was like, it's probably the same, and just I, I don't know. I think it's that excavators articulate different, and it like messes with your head, or is it actually just bad in general? Like, oh, the bouncing, kind of like this thing was doing actually earlier. I had it bouncing pretty bad. I don't remember what I was doing, but yeah, I had it going nuts. They definitely see the crane in Farm Sim I got really good at. The excavator, I swear the head of the excavator is the opposite of the crane, and that's what was fucking me up, is that every time I would try to use it, my brain would operate backwards, and then I'd like stab it into the ground and flip myself, and yeah, it was really bad. Usually I tip over and the shovels will just start endlessly digging a hole into the ground. That's always fun too. Like that's one thing they need to stop is like if the bucket is full, it should stop digging so that it doesn't just endlessly drill bit itself into the ground when you tip. That's the only way I can think of limiting it though is like once it reaches like full overload, just turn off the well, even the deleting of the material. I'm talking about in this one, like when you tip over and it just endlessly plummets into the material. They need to have something to stop it. But yeah, in Farm Sim 25, it was the same way. It's because it was using the terraforming. If you tip, game over and you're digging to China. I had to laugh actually. One of my buddies, he plays with a controller, and he went AFK on our farm, and he has 2 1-year-old kids, and one of them got a hold of his controller, and he was in the process of terraforming his farm, so he had left it selected, and the kid just mashed one of the buttons on the controller and held it down, and it just started endlessly digging a hole through the farm. It was hilarious. He's in a panic trying to fix this trench that he dug. Well, that the kid dug. So it was definitely funny as hell. But we ran into a limit with Farm Sim. We had 40 vehicles on the map, I think it was, and the server just wouldn't handle it at all. It was lagging so bad it was unplayable, and I host my own servers for everything really. So it's a 8-core Intel i7 and like 40 some odd gigs of RAM. I don't remember what it was. It's like 32 and 16, I think it was. I just had some leftover sticks laying around. But for some reason, as soon as we hit 40 vehicles, it just lags to death. So then you have to keep buying and selling, and even then, it, I don't know. That's part of why I keep playing this. Is I think the terraforming might have had a lot to do with it, with the terrafarm. using that mod with all the vehicles, I think was just too much for the server. And this seems to handle it even when I play with my buddy. We don't really get laggy or anything. I know some of the guys that had like 15 friends joining them were having problems, but that's kind of to be expected because this doesn't have dedicated servers yet. Which I think is another short site, but I think they said they were going to be making that a thing. On Farm Sim or on here? On Out of Ore. Oh, okay. And that's impressive actually, especially when it has the dirt physics it has now. If you get 14 people going. And is this like a standalone server or like something new? Or is this like playing on someone's saved game, the multiplayer that they have now? Okay, so an external server. That's definitely what they need to. Well, their PC is an external server. That's awesome. I haven't done any beta testing in a long time. I think the last one that I made it into the beta for was Once Human, so it's been a while. I used to get in all like the World of Warcraft betas and stuff like that, but I need to dig out this wall behind me so I have more space. This wasn't a planned stop. I was starting to dig my tunnel and then hit this rock node, so I had to get the rock node first. So I'm going to clear this one out and then I'll go back to the mine shaft. It's awesome that you got a buddy that is in the beta stuff, because it's nice to be able to get in someone's ear that can actually put in tickets and stuff and make complaints about like silly stuff like the GPS being just a reference point instead of actually a stop point. I always feel like so much of that kind of stuff gets missed when it's just posted up in like a Reddit. The devs and stuff just don't follow it close enough. Yeah, if I never would have played this game after I played it the first time with the old weird dirt physics, I don't know that I ever would have bought the game. But then coming back to it, it was a night and day difference, and hopefully they just keep making improvements like that. I do kind of wish there was some kind of quest system or some shit to kind of give the game a little bit more purpose, but that is what it is. I know there is the small, I guess, kind of like mini quests where it, yeah, I was gonna say they do have the small stuff that I've seen. See, and I haven't. The thing with Farm Sim that still kind of confuses me is even when we were having the atrocious lag, if I looked at that computer at like the CPU usage and memory usage and all that kind of stuff, it would only be at like a quarter usage across all 8 cores. Like when I first start up the server, one core would get really overloaded and be maxed out, but then like once the server smoothed out and got everything figured out, it would only be at like a quarter use, but then it would be just lagging like crazy. And even memory, it was only using like 5 gigs out of the 40 some odd gigs of RAM that was in there. So I just either I had a really poorly optimized mod going that was causing some issues, or yeah, there you go, fulfilled contracts. Like have neighboring cities or something that have requests for certain types of metals or ore or rods or whatever, so that it gives you a reason to be making more of the stuff instead of just to see how crazy you can really get it. Can't really seem to scrape this ceiling. I was hoping to get some of that back, but for some reason, oh, there it goes. That one. Oh, and as for the setup, it can be done really cheap because, like I said, it's all used TVs and stuff. But then it's actually mounted to a bed frame, and I'm not kidding. It's a like Amazon bed frame, the where it's just a bunch of like square pot metal garbage. And then I welded it all together, just kind of cut it up and welded. It's standing on its side. I cut the upper legs off and welded them to the lower legs so that they're longer and can counter the weight of the TVs and stuff. And I'm not kidding. I have like $100 into this whole setup, and that's including the TVs. The only thing I'm not including in that price would be the wheel and that junk. But like the rig itself is just scrap wood that I had laying around and a spare seat from one of my cars. Um, I mean, technically, if I would have went to the junkyard and got one, it would have been like $50 for the seat. But the center console I had from it was an extra from one of my cars that I hoard parts for Toyota MR2s. So I have a ton of extra parts. So it was actually a broken center console that I knew was never going to get used again. So I figured I'll cut it up and turn it into this, and it's really comfy. But yeah, just go. What I did was look around on like garbage days for people throwing out bed frames if you have a welder, because that's just lots of metal that's free. And from there, um, originally I had to spend money on a splitter matrix for the screens because I had 5 screens. I had a desk set up next to the sim rig, and that complicated things. Uh, but I since then have gotten rid of the desk, and now I just have another screen up above these 3, um, which only having 4 screens is easy. 5 or more, that's a problem. It can be done, but it starts to get pricey with splitters and matrices and all that kind of junk. And you'd be surprised, a lot of like local hardware stores and even grocery stores and crap, they get a lot of their stuff on skids, and then they just throw out the skids, and they have no problem with people coming and garbage picking skids out of their from behind their buildings, and that's plenty of free good wood that can be used to make a sim rig. I've seen I'm in a few DIY groups for sim rigs and stuff, and there's guys that have built holders for the triples and everything out of used skids. So it can definitely be done extremely cheap. Just don't cheap out on cables. I learned that the hard way. HDMI cables and stuff, if you cheap out on them, they'll start breaking up your signal really bad, and they can really hurt your frame rate. And even the TV, it'll almost look like you're getting really bad FPS, and it's actually just crappy cables. So don't buy the like $6 HDMI cables off Amazon. All right. Well, I am going to cut the video. I am actually still going to keep streaming, so if you want to hang out, I'm just going to stop the recording. I record YouTube on the side, and it's just easier to clip the videos while I'm streaming than to go back and edit a shitload of videos. So hold on tight. I'll be right back. YouTube land. Peace. Till next time. If you liked today's episode, please consider leaving a like and subscribing, as it goes a long way to helping the channel to grow. Thank you.